the underground. What's going on, everybody? Much love, pure bloods. Let's get a mic check right at the gate. How is everything sounding? Quantum in the house. Thank you, Daily Survival, for sharing the stream. Appreciate it. Thank you, Kev Bar. Hoodie Ross, Tooch. Yellow Dog. Good to see you, Uncommon. Steve, the judge, with us. Ava, Angel. Susie Q. Hope all is good. MC Dirty with us. Shut Up's with us. I had to do a double take on that name. I see a lot of unique names out there. Prepared, not scared. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, man. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys are enjoying time with friends and family. All that good stuff. Be safe out there on the roads traveling, that's for sure. There's gonna be quite a bit of people out, I'm telling you. It seems to be the consensus already all over the place. People having to go out. I've seen people posting that they drove out 20 minutes and turned around and went back home because it was just that crazy madhouse. People out last minute, traveling, shopping. But hey, it's the holiday season. Yes. NYC checking in. Everybody across the board out there. Starting off with the shot here of some sprites. If you're wondering what that is, this is actually a natural phenomenon that if you get a chance to see it in real life, I'm sure it's going to be a head buster. I mean, just seeing the image, it looks like it's something you'd see deep in the ocean. You're lighting up, but no, as above, so below, they say. And you can see that's pretty amazing. Look like big jellyfish in the sky. But that's a natural phenomenon, they say. If you guys ever catch any images like this, let me know. dabu7@yahoo.com. I would love to turn it down a little bit. Love to be able to share it with everybody. And thank you, Arma, for the coffee. Merry Christmas. Much love. Hope all is well. Yeah, jellyfish, sprites here, quantum. Yeah, I thank you guys for joining me for the stream. You never know. Holidays. Who's got what going on? This and that. Who's going to be checking in? Yeah, let's be safe out there. Let's start off here with it. This is an update to something I posted over on X. You're going to want to follow me over there if you're not. Mark, thank you for the coffee. FEMA Region 6, Merry Christmas. I tweeted this out. I was like, something huge just exploded. And everybody's got their opinion, but man, a couple came through like, oh, it's just a meteor. Yeah, thinking they knew it all. And it wasn't. It was a Chinese satellite that exploded over New Orleans and down south. A lot of people saw this. Mississippi, Louisiana. People freaking out. Some people thinking that it was a plane disintegrating. Because that's how it appeared. You can see the fireball right there. Somebody got a picture. And here, I got a couple video shots that show it really good. You can hear the people kind of freaking out, but it is similar to a meteor. If it's not a meteor, the composition. If you've seen enough meteors coming in, you know they usually they last pretty quick, like quick flashes. They can break up like this, but all too often the things I've seen look like this are exactly what it is.
Oh my gosh! Where's it going? Are you sure there's not an airplane on fire?
Oh no, there's two.
There's like, oh my gosh.
What is that?
What is going on?
That could be an airplane.
It's got a light. It's an airplane, isn't it?
No.
Oh my gosh. I hear it. Listen, don't hear something?
Oh my god.
What is going on?
That is.
What is going
That
on?
is not. That can't be.
It's not burning up.
Well, that's what it's doing. And I got another clip from another angle. You can see here remnants of a Chinese satellite that crashed back to Earth. This is what happens now. You know, Elon's got a ton of satellites up there, and they're designed to where they're supposed to do the same thing, pretty much burn up in the atmosphere. And this happens every day, believe it or not. Just people don't see it. There's so many satellites coming down, burning up. You can track them. You can actually track all the satellites of Starlinks and see exactly where they're at in position. And when they've got failing ones and weak ones, they've got all these different updates on them. You can see where they fade out on the screen. And then they're gone. They come down, they burn up. Which isn't always the best strategy, because if it doesn't always burn up and it comes down over a populated area, somebody could get hit with a chunk of metal. But just saying, these things happen all the time. There's so much junk up there in subspace. I'm surprised we don't see it more, to be honest. But blaming that one on the Chinese. And let's take a look here at the earthquakes real quick. Alaska, it got hit with decent quake. Handful of quakes up here. 5.9, right around a 6-pointer. Flipping the house. Much love. Merry Christmas, my brother. Thank you for the super chat. Hope all is well, brother. You've been around for a long time. Much love. Look, what do we got here? We got a decent quake. South side of Cuba. 5.9 again. Anything over 6 can generate a tsunami. If that pops off on the north side of Cuba, could pop off a tsunami. And we've seen it in the past with Haiti. And it looks like New Madrid is still seeing quake activity. There's different groups. They have different devices out there that track Earth movement all over the place. USGS goes out and puts its own monitors up to pick up on earthquakes, and independent groups do too. And they feed that data into USGS, but somewhere in the mix, it doesn't always translate the right way, because we know right around New Madrid, just this past week, there was a series of quakes, a whole bunch of them. And we were even seeing them on both sides of Kentucky. One was in the southernmost tip there of Ohio, next to Kentucky. And then the other one right down over here in Missouri. And then we've got another one hitting right there in Missouri. Now, I'm going to go ahead and... I don't think I have the article pulled up, but I did drop the video on this. The last video that I put out here on this channel, I believe, was AI was asked, how will America be destroyed? What would be the best way for its enemy to attack it and take it down? And I kid you not, if you've not seen the video, I mean, I'll tell you now, it responds saying that an EMP over the United States, over Kansas to be specific, right over the middle of the country, would send a shockwave throughout the country. It would shut everything down. Cellular services, planes would fall out of the sky in some instances that were below. Unfortunately, that would be one of the more horrific things. But it's kind of shocking the detail that it gave, because out of all my years of doing this, I came to the conclusion many years ago, and you know this. Thank you, Johnny Boy, for the coffees. Merry Christmas. I came to the same conclusion long before AI was even on the scene, that this is the most strategic way to take down the country. Now, AI, I swear, it's like, wouldn't AI swear it stole my idea? Because I preach it hard and have for a long time. This is the number one way to take down the country. So AI just rebuffs that and then goes into the darker side of it, saying that within 9 months to a year, people are not going to survive this event through fighting, starvation, and all that. It's going to be horrific. And that it's the kill shot. Coast to coast. And it's not going to stop at the border. It's not going to stop at the Canadian border, or right at the Great Lakes before it gets in, don't work like that. It's not going to stop at the Mexican border. It's going to do what it does. The higher they have it when they do this, the larger of a field they have to hit. But it can be not as potent, weaker. There's like a sweet spot. And that altitude just so happens to be right up where the satellites go by and pass by. That's why the biggest threat has always been, for all these years, North Korea's satellites they had going over our country every day, the Shining Star satellites. Because they were said to be carrying EMPs. And this is ever since the Obama administration. An EMP commission was funded by our government, and that's what they came back with, and then they were shut down after they made these statements. So the warning was put out there, and I try to echo it because it's no longer in existence. And the threat's still on the table, and with all the satellites going on out there, you wonder why North Korea's always been able to get away with what they do. They're like a puppet regime, and I've always felt that through different prophecies I've seen, even about the Korean Peninsula, that they're going to get hit. There's prophecies of a mushroom cloud hitting the Korean Peninsula in a massive war. And I always thought about that. One of the old game plans that got exposed was that Russia and China were going to use and go through North Korea to do just that, to EMP us. And it's like, who's to say it can't happen at any time? We're dealing with the people that allowed big events throughout world history to go down. You're talking the sinking of this big ship, the United States. It's the most tactical way to do it. If you've got troops embedded like the Chinese do all across the country, and you've even got bases, how pathetic is that? I can sit here and report to you that they've got bases pretty much right next to our major bases. All this land they've purchased. It's crazy. And I've got a big question for Homan, and I bet you it never reaches him. It never hits his ears. What are you going to do about that, Homan? You got all these illegals all over the place they're going to go after. And rightfully so. Is he going to go into these bases, into these properties right next to the bases? And why not? I'm telling you, that's where a bunch of them are being held. This is a setup. Merry Christmas. Thank you for the coffees. This is a setup. All right. Let's start to tear into some different things here. Let's gotta take the good with the bad, huh? Well, for a long time, I've reported out of California a lot of chaos in terms of them just going into a store and taking whatever they want and walking out with it. Not just there, but up and down the West Coast. It had been happening more than other places. They were getting away with it. Just getting away with it. Walking in, filling their bags, walking out, walking into another store. And hopefully I'm going to try to play this video. When I do, hopefully everything stays running solid here. But I think it's going to try to open up Instagram. It's going to play this video of a cop on his way patrolling, and then it shows these girls going into a place and shoplifting, and they've changed the rules. And I think they're trying to use these girls as an example, because it used to be that there was a certain proposition that was in effect, and they say that now Proposition 36, which increases punishment for retail theft and drug possession offenses, went into effect on Wednesday in California. So, will we see a shift here? Watch.
You keep saying you got some.
Well, I'm here on YouTube, so I'm going to have to mute that. Even though it's not the original. But this is showing you these girls stealing. So they just looted a store that quick. Now they're in another store, Kohl's. They're in there. They're coming to do the same thing. Just picking up all these different items they're used to doing. Just going around whatever they see and they like, basically. Snatching it all up. And right on out the door. So they get hawked now. Security zooms in on them. And you got a cop right here pulling in. He hops out and chases them. Tackles a couple of them. Hard. Knocks her out of her shoes. And ultimately, they're apprehended.
Are gonna walk all over you.
That's a felony? Bitch, new laws. Stealing is a felony. And this is Orange County, bitch. They don't play. That's why I asked what county is this. That's where I went to jail last year and got on probation for a year for stealing out of Target.
The girl next to her is like, oh crap. You know? So they're getting a rude awakening. All these people that got away with it, all the times you watched it, well, guess what? It ain't like that now. After this proposition, they're changing it. So the cops doing their job and able to do it full force. Somebody stealing, they can roll up, boom. Got him. I'm telling you, when Hellman starts going to all these places and starts trying to round up all these illegals, it's going to get hairy. It's going to get crazy, man. They're going to have to fire cops back up. It's going to come back, I'm telling you. Hey, much love. Merry Christmas. Joe, I appreciate that. Much love you and Susie Q. Merry Christmas. Thank you for the coffees. But I wanted to play it just so you know. Gotta have some kind of law and rules out here. Look at this. On this planet where people are dying constantly. 7,000 people die every day. On average. So this is going off the numbers from 2023. Where 62 million died that year. And that averages about 7,000 deaths an hour. It's crazy. You look at this, though. A large portion was from all around the world. That's what this left side is. Like half of them was like from all kinds of different places all around the world. But the place that brought in the most deaths was China. And it just goes to show their numbers done went in reverse. India has passed them. And this is what's happening now. They've been going in reverse, China, and you can see they're at a point where a lot of their people are hitting older age and dying. In India, even though they're the most populated place on the planet now, they have a younger demographic, majority of their populace. So it's just, and that's why their number's so big. United States up there, 340, Nigeria, so Russia, 205. Just thought I'd point it out. Want to know where most people die? Well, here in America, things are not getting any better in terms of the cost of things like eggs. This is something I bet you continues to go through the roof. It just, I would get your own chickens, keep it on the down low. And, I mean, this bird flu thing gets pushed, it's going to send it up more and more and more. I said, man, anything connected to this. They were saying before that the cows can get this because the feed and everything. And like between the cows, the milk, the chickens, and all that, where they could push this. It could be bad. So, in the blink of an eye, if they push this full scale one morning, like really hard, and here it comes, our cattle herd is decimated. That's why the cost of hamburger meat has gone up so much, and it's going to continue to rise as well. I mean, dude, you're taking out the staples of society, the meat, the milk, the eggs, the chicken, all that. It's one big attack with this. You got to keep an eye on it. And you're not going to get it. You won't get it. These things will dry up pretty quickly. I foresee if bird flu starts to hit the places the way that I think they're doing it, and it looks like they're doing it. They're attacking the farmers. They're going after the farmers. And this, in turn, is going to affect our entire supply. And I told you this. I warned you this because the lady said it on video. She came out and said, we're going to go to every one of them. We're going to make sure that they have the latest inoculation. All the farmers. That way, we know the food supply is safe. Anything that they produce from there is safe. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Look what they just did. Look at the cart they're playing. They're going to push it on all the food producers this next time. And they either take it or they don't. If they don't, then they're not able to sell. It just sounds so eerily familiar. Like if you don't take their mark, you can't buy or sell. You can't sell or trade. Literally. That's where this is going. That's the move. This is in the open. Soon as this next big front, they're already doing it. They're already doing it. You do not want to be the farmer that gets a visit, looks out your window and sees these goons on your property. Because damage is already done. They've already targeted you. They're going to come a knocking. They're going to say, hey, we just tested 1 or 2 birds. They're positive. You know what that means. Whole flock's got to be culled. Everything. So basically, your whole farm has been wiped out and shut down. Everything that you've raised, all the money into it, everything you've done, everything wiped out. And not only does the farmer lose out, like all of the community, everyone that they sell to, is out. So, this right here, the mortality rate connected to bird flu, and all the numbers ran, all the tests and everything else, it blows COVID out of the water, dude. Like, this is the dangerous one. If they go messing around, tweaking things. Because anything's possible at this point, but man, they're pushing it. I mean, California just declared a state of emergency over this. Jumping the gun, huh? Or are they telegraphing what is about to happen? I don't know, but it's true. I mean, why do you do that? Nobody's died there. You know, it's like it started, like softly. And it may roll out and happen different this time. My problem with this is I don't think this ain't gonna be like last time, man. The whole world is in for a rude awakening when they're hit with the real deal. I'm talking bodies dropped, man. A lot. That's scary. Because this isn't hospital workers doing stupid dances and videos and all, and knowing that you're getting screwed over, staying 6 feet apart, essential papers, you know, all that. No, this is gonna go in the real deal. When bodies are stacked up, there won't be no questions asked. And see, it's at that moment, sadly, I predict that so many will realize this ain't nothing like the last one. And somewhere in their head, they're gonna have to figure it out that yeah, last time you were played, we were all played, whole world. It was a beta for what's to come. And man, they warned us of 2025 being the year. Many times. It's almost here. Right on schedule. Like we've entered the window. We're in that crazy window, don't forget it. Inauguration or not, you know that January 20th, the day that they inaugurate the president of the United didn't like me saying that, huh? As the OBS kicks out and back in. Lord God, give me control over these jinn and shut them down. And keep my stream going, please. Yeah, I should be back at mic check. All right. There we go. Who cares? The end. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, if you don't know, whenever that happens, it's like they're checking me or something. Seems to always be when I'm on to something, saying something crazy. I'm going to keep it pushing. Most people don't realize this, but the demand at the food banks has gone through the roof. Record levels of people going to these food pantries just to survive, man. To get by. We're hurting, man. Yeah, we're in a recession. What's up, Vikings? We're in a recession. That's for sure. As soon as you get into this Trump administration, if we get there, they're going to say it. If they're smart, they'll come out and quickly say it. Because if he doesn't and drags it out at all, it's just going to get blamed on him in terms of Trump. Said this before. We're in a deep recession, and we seen where those job numbers went. They were lying. They got caught. And when it came to a majority of where the real jobs went, they were going to foreign or illegal workers, migrant workers, over U.S. natural-born citizens. People are feeling this all across the country. Trust me. I have people tell me all the time, like, these people are showing up in mass in this city or that city or in my neighborhoods. And, like, they're taken away from jobs. And I get a lot of my brothers from the hoods that message me saying these things. Like, they see an influx in some of these certain areas. And it's taken away from their opportunity. And, like, I've been so much as told and, like, warned, like, look, you better, like, watch. Like, it's about to pop off. And when you see it pop off, you'll know why. I'm like, hey, I feel you. So, and more power to anyone that's got to stand up against this, because I told you before, nobody is standing up in mass against Trinidad Aragua or any of these illegals that are here by like 10 million. The gangs are doing it in the streets. I told you a long time ago that if anybody's going to do it, they're going to do it because they're used to having to defend their territory. They defend their blocks, and that's the way life is in the hood, you see? And it was like kind of by default that when they butted heads, and you've seen it, there's been guys take the social media straight up out the hood there in Chicago and everything else, like, look, these fools about to get it, without straight up putting a death threat out there, but basically saying, look, they're about to get it. Can't you see that this has been the plan to destabilize everything? They did it everywhere, all around the globe. They did it all through Europe. I mean, just go take a look. Look at France. Ain't no couples walking, peacefully around the Eiffel Tower these days. It's like, no. It's like chaos in the streets all the time. They just recently eased up with the protest. The protest went on in France for year after year after year through the lockdowns. And they were battling migrants that were surging in there, like they did in Sweden, like they did in Ireland, like, like they did in the UK. They did it by design. They sent them in there. And see, Italy just flipped the script, and they're kicking everybody out. Remember, in the beginning, the Pope came out. Jesuit Pope Francis came out and said, you must take these people into your homes. Complete strangers. Murderers, killers, rapists that are coming across our border right now. Same thing. They were sending across the Mediterranean. They flooded them in to all of Europe. They flipped it on its head, and you can't even go. I seen a clip yesterday. It was one of the main places in Ireland, and I didn't see a single white folk in there. Ireland. It's destroyed the heritage. I don't care what place it is. I don't care if they did the opposite. They sent a bunch of whoever into whatever region. It doesn't matter the color. It's the fact that they're destroying the heritage of all these places. Germany, same way. Let's go take a look, man. Here, it's happened. It's already happened. They're here. So now we got to deal with it. Yeah, much love, all the purebloods out there. The real test is coming, though, I'm telling you, this next event. Thank you, Quantum. God bless. Merry Christmas. I got to send a prayer out there, man. Ask God to look out for all the people out there that don't have anything tonight. Have no food, no nothing, somehow, some way. Send some angels out to help, because we need them. We need real angels working in existence. Here, I seen a sad clip of a guy that was homeless, sitting in the street, talking to these people, and they were filming it, and it was like around 0 degrees or something, and the guy's last words to him was, if I don't get out of here, I'm gonna die here tonight. And they're filming all this. I don't know, and part of me was kind of like, man, like, could you all have done more than just, like, film it? Like, they went back the next day, same spot. They made a point to go back. And he was dead. Laying there dead, frozen. They posted it. And I'm just like, so that's all you cared about was getting the footage, getting the story, something like, I don't know, man. I see some of these things. Sometimes, man, got to help others out there in a time of need. I don't know. It's just me. I know a lot of people out there hurting right now. But it's all because of this government, to be honest with you, in stripping opportunity away from all kinds of people. Look at this. It's all by design. This whole place was meant to come down by design. You've got nearly 2,000 CEOs quitting in America. These are CEOs, top level, high as it gets in a company. 2,000 just in this year alone. It sets a new record. So all these years we thought it was bad because of COVID, 2001, 2002, 2024 thus far. The jobs are still just, not just jobs, but companies getting shut down by design. They're shutting the place down. Last show, I showed San Francisco, one of the biggest malls they got out there. Only has 3 stores open in the entire mall. They had it all decorated for Christmas. A ghost town. It's sad, man. It's all these places getting decimated. So I always say support your local people. You know what I'm saying? Buy American made the best you can. Um, Look at this. In terms of the world economy, I want you to see that the United States is the biggest economy. You're looking at a visual chart here. China is the next big player. I told you. They're constantly growing. They're going to surpass us here at some point. But in terms of the economy, the GDP out of China is just 19.5 trillion. The United States has like 100 trillion more. It is the big economy. If this thing goes down, which it will, that's the plan for the reset, it's going to reset everything else. Everything else is small potatoes compared to that. Everything is depending on that. Yeah. Even the Chinese economy. It depends on our economy. Any honest economist is going to tell you that. And we've depended on them, too, for cheap electronic product for all your life. So, there's, China's rip-off artists, though, stealing intellectual property rights, they need to be checked on. They need to be checked on a lot of things, but you can't go wrong with buying American made. I always say, if you got somebody making a legitimate product here, support them. Looky here. This is a big move. You've got Honda and Nissan working toward a merger that would make them the world's third largest automaker. And that's crazy. You would think that with two juggernauts that big, they would be number one. But they're not. So Nissan, Honda, merging. Let's look and see who runs the whole thing. Wow. Tesla's market cap nears half of the global auto industry. So there you go. Those that are driving Toyota or Ford or Chevy or anything else, like, where are they even on here? All right, there's Toyota. Trying to find. There's Volkswagen, there's Mercedes. GM. GM's this small little piece right here. Tesla. And Ford's this blue piece right here. So GM, Ford got these little chunks out of each side, but Tesla, you see it. Tesla is taking over. It's scary. Mr. Neuralink, telling you what, man. Well, let's look at the debt real quick before we get out of the economic part, because this means something. In 2024, the global public debt broke 100 trillion. 102 trillion. With China, Japan, the United States being the biggest contributors. The U.S. the biggest. We have 34.55% of that compared to like China's 16%. Check this out. The rich are about to leave Washington State. We've already seen it. You've got some of these rich folks out there that, like Bill Gates, they got houses all over. And they can have houses up here in Washington State. And have houses, elsewhere. And you just never know where they're at. But you can guarantee that they're going to be selling their house in Washington State if they push this through, this wealth tax. They're saying it's going to push a ton of the big money out of the area. Yeah, so I don't know. All those states out there got these different laws. And I wanted to point out, if you're looking to raise a kid in this country, from here on out, Massachusetts, Boston would be the most expensive state to raise a kid in. Mississippi, the cheapest. Yeah. Take a look right there, see what your state is. Here on the map, Mississippi, bottom. If you're looking to move and raise a family. All right, jumping into other news here. We've got a prankster that is lucky he didn't kill someone, and there's no telling how many people he's poisoned. That gets busted. This guy on TikTok was apparently filming himself spraying insect killer on Walmart produce, and the Mesa Police Department got him. Say 27-year-old Charles Smith grabbed the pesticide off the shelf without paying for it and then filmed himself poisoning the produce. I mean, it's got to be one of the stupidest things ever. Said that he was making $10,000 a month off these videos on TikTok. And now could be sentenced to like more than 15 years. Like, they're stupid. And there's levels of stupid, huh? Like, yeah, jail him for life. Like, are you kidding me? That's like, yeah, you're definitely hanging. I know people make stupid mistakes in life, but like, dude, right there, putting other people's lives in danger and potentially giving them permanent damage forever. In fact, killing someone, making them severely sick. Yeah, man. He deserves the punishment, but again, some of these people need to be made an example out of so they don't do it anymore. So no one else gets the idea. Like, oh. All right. I'm going to start getting into some of the heavier stuff here. This one is a tough one. I can't play the video because it's so disturbing. We have a migrant that set a woman on fire in a NYC subway car. And it absolutely blows me away. I mean, if you've seen the video, I've tweeted out stuff. You can see the stuff on my X. I posted it over there. This migrant's been busted, but he lit this woman on fire. And there's just some things that don't make no sense about the whole thing. Okay? There is a cop that is caught walking right past the woman. And I want his name, his badge number. I have people making comments like, oh, maybe he was about to get off shift. I don't care. He is a cop. He's watching a woman sit there on fire. Standing there on fire. He walks right past her. Dude, he should be thrown in jail for that. Like right now, tonight. Tonight, he should be. Stripped of his badge. Thrown in jail tonight. He should spend the holidays all the way into the new year before he even sees the judge for this heinous act. He could have saved her. She was standing. Okay? Which is, I'm going to admit, it's another weird part of it. This guy was like, this migrant was caught like fanning her with a jacket, and she's standing there. And I'm like, hold on, the door's open. Like, why did she not stop, drop, and roll? Why did she just not do nothing? Like, it's weird. It's very weird. She didn't stop, drop, and roll. She's not running. Most people that are on fire are like kicking and running and screaming and rolling, all that. Like, she's just literally standing there on fire. It's crazy. It is super weird. And the cop going right by, it just pisses me off. Yeah, it's always an illegal doing some kind of crazy crap. Like right here, an illegal Guatemalan migrant accused of doing it. He did it. They got him. He's in custody, but it doesn't bring to life. What happened to the damn National Guard they just put in the subway? Remember? They just upped it. They just sent National Guard and up security. They said, everybody watch out in the subways, and there's guys down there with guns. Where were they at? Makes no sense, dude. Comrade Kim, much love. Ah, man. Yeah, the whole thing about the cop not helping. I've got a disdain against cops just because of what they've done to me in my life. And I mean, and a majority of it, journalism, running the streets. The way they've treated me, what they've done to me, the chemicals used on me, guns thrown in my face, the abuse, the whole nine. And I came up before my stepbrother was killed. I was going to college for law. And my stepbrother went and he became a cop. And I'm going to be like a detective, investigator. You know, on Christmas Day, my stepbrother was shot and killed in front of the whole family. By his best friend, which was a cop. It's pretty crazy to think of. So, I don't know. I never pursued anything after that. It messed me up. And, yeah. Yeah, I never think about that until, times like these, I guess. But, yeah, R.I.P., bro. Yeah, it sucks. So, crazy stuff happens out there. Every day. Yeah. This other murder here, this Luigi Mangione, he pleads not guilty to state murder and terrorism charges. So you wonder where this is going, and all that. But this, I want to see this guy on video, hear him saying something as he's screaming he didn't do it, or no, manifesto. Was that his manifesto? All this, because just hearing him say some certain thing can kill some theories or whatever out there, or it can lean one way or another. With this whole thing, but it seems in the end that this whole story kind of buries, the guy that got killed and why he got killed, and it was because of insider trading with Nancy Pelosi and company and all the crew. She gave him huge sums of money, and that guy was snitching. That Brian dude was snitching. He was being currently investigated by the feds. And when you're doing high-level insider trading, which is what he was doing with Pelosi and company and a bunch of other people, it hasn't even come out in the wash yet. And that, what is done in the dark, is going to be brought into the light with this situation there with them. It should. Pelosi, I'm going to put her in a classification of Pelosi's of establishment elite. Okay? Almost untouchable. Almost like a Hillary Clinton. Okay? The only reason I put Hillary in a group all their own is because she's part of the presidential bloodline group. She's married to Bill. Bill was president. So all of them are like special protected. Secret Service protection literally for all their lives till they're gone. Yeah. It's a different ballgame with them. And come on, Trump said last time Hillary's gonna go to prison. Ran his whole thing on it. And they got in there, it's like, I don't feel like it. Let her go. I mean, give me a break. Half of the stuff is a show, I'm telling you, and you know it. And you know it. All right, let me jump into some of the drone stuff here real quick, if you don't know. Where I grew up in northern Kentucky, whenever you go back up there, where I go back up there, I see all the changes that have happened. In the airport up there, it has a hub just for drones. And when I'm up there, man, in the area that I grew up, it looks so much different. Like, whole, like, mountain ranges and, like, horizons, like, look different and everything. It's like, it messes with me. And they're going to be launching these flights out of up there. So that whole area is going to be buzzing with these drones, like commercial drones. And you can see what this one looks like here on the screen. This thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's got them in the front. 16 propeller. That's like I don't even know what you call that. It's more than even like an Osprey. The wings don't even, it's got top propellers, front propellers. So it can fly like a plane. It can drop down in like a helicopter. And it can deliver your DoorDash. So it's DoorDash. Expect to see this more and more. So all the hysteria with drones, there's going to have to be a separation here because some people are going to be freaking out. In like Dallas and like Houston or Atlanta, and these places where they're rolling this out, the bigger cities, someone's like, oh, there's one of them drones going to shoot it down. It's going to be a DoorDash. Somebody's pizza. Like, it's getting trippy here. I'm just saying, these things are rolling out more and more, and this is what they're looking like. I'd get you some pictures of the place. Man, I tell you. I would say I'd get some pictures of this place, but I'm not going to be going by there now. I hate to say it, but my Christmas has been ruined. So frustrating. It just sucks. There's no other way around it. I've had car issues, man, and I had my car in the shop all day today. Just to get it out of there and have it leaking fluid all over the parking lot at the next place I got to. And it's stopping me from being able to go and see all my family for the holidays. And nothing opens back up to fix it until after the holidays. So, and I tried to nip that in the bud today and get ahead of that. And they just double dog did me bad. And just totally screwed my whole Christmas. Oh, not just mine. Like, I suck it up, but, like, my family's, yeah, that sucks. Like, so that's where I'm at. I've been pretty pissed, but agitated all the way up to right before I hit that live button. Put it in the... But I'm here with all you guys. So, and truly, when I go live and I see all you guys, it brings this, I don't know, good feeling. I don't know how to put it. I try to be in the moment and let it be the positive. As Hoodie Ross always says, chew the meat and spit out the bone. Taking the good, spit out the bad. Is what it is, though. Hey, I'm doing better than I was, and I truly, I attribute it to being here on the stream with you guys and being able to get it off my chest. Check this out. This is something you don't want to see. I posted this. Hi. Thank you. This is pretty crazy. This is drones coming down crashing down. They said they were dive bombing, but they weren't. Dive bombing would mean they were controlled, but they were crashing. And this is what you don't want to see. In instances like this, where they start falling
Oh, some of them are falling. Watch it! Whoa!
Wow. I didn't see that clip in there. Damn, it almost hit them. Cigarettes. Well, thank you, cigarettes. Thank you for the super chat, guys. That's crazy. Actually, a little boy was injured really bad in this. And they had to cancel the other drone show. So this one's closer.
Oh no! I don't think they're supposed to be falling.
Damn. Almost the duck in the water.
This one!
Yeah, that's the clip that I shared right there. Yeah, just imagine. And what's crazy is I also it would be painful. Trust me, I got a scar on my arm from my drone years ago. Like when I first got it, it's supposed to hover inside the house and like know where the walls are. And I tried to test it. Bad idea. They all come walking in the room, or we're in the room, my family, and like this thing took off on its own, and I had to grab it. And when I did, bad mistake, it bit into my arm, it cut into my arm down to the bone. Boy, I got the scar, and boy, oh, it sucks so bad. Let me tell you, so I've been bit by the drone hard to the bone. Like I got a bad scar on my left arm from it. Oh man. So I feel their pain. Anybody that's been hit by one of these drones, especially if you get caught with a blade. Chances are these things falling out of the sky. Hopefully the blades weren't spinning. That's why they dropped, or something like that. But yeah, man. So that was in Orlando, and I posted on my X. I'm telling you, you gotta follow me on X. If you're not, there's stuff over there that, matter of fact, let me go get it. I'm gonna show you. Someone was going up 75 and noticed a bunch of drones or something, and they didn't know what it was. To be honest, they were like, "Dude, what is going on here?" And here it is. Let me pull it up right here.
See this right now? We're at the Grange Hall exit on 75, and this is over the sky right now. What the hell is this? They were flickering lights, and there's a bunch of people pulled over on 75. What the fuck? They're changing colors? Yeah, but what is it? See this right now?
So you can see this is what people were witnessing. And people were commenting saying, yeah, it looks like some kind of drone show potentially. And obviously it's what it seems like. But I don't know. I didn't get a confirmation on that. I don't know exactly what it was. Besides the fact that there was a bunch of people that witnessed it on 75. People were pulled over and filming and seeing the same thing. So, you guys catch anything like that, tag me. Or email me, dabu7@yahoo.com. And thank you, eFits. I appreciate that PayPal. I appreciate it the fullest. All right, we've got the Coast Guard blasting the Biden regime because, look, our government's lying about these drones, and they're making some of these other people look like they're dumb or they're idiots because they've sent out mixed things all over the place, right? And we know something's going on. It continues. So we have the Coast Guard and other military that are basically to the point to where they're like, look, this ain't us. We're being lied to. We're being buffaloed. And something else is going on here. And then Mayorkas, Homeland Security, the White House, they want to come out and they want to say, oh, it's mostly just planes, celestial objects, normal drones, and airliners that people are saying, and some stars, and trying to make everyone look stupid. That's what they're saying, that there's no major issue going on here. But the Coast Guard's saying, that makes us look like fools. So, like, let's rewind and go back, is what they're saying. They had 20, anywhere between like 20 and 30 drones shadowing a 47-foot Coast Guard rescue vessel in the Atlantic Ocean. They were following it meticulously. They were right around 80 to 100 feet above them. They had 4 propellers apiece. They were about 7 foot across. They had flashing lights like you've seen, the red, the green, and the white lights. And they were there. So this is the Coast Guard screaming like, yo, you're not making us look like fools. Like, this Biden regime is lying. They're lying straight to the public's face, all of them are. And now, this is not just the military, an anonymous military from the Navy, from the Army, from these bases, officials. I mean, this is now Coast Guard you can throw in the mix. All kinds of them saying the same thing, that they're witnessing these events, and your government's lying. So, don't forget, Elon said that drone wars that will boggle the mind are about to happen. Man, fidgets, man. I appreciate that. God bless. Thank you for the coffees. Merry Christmas. And much love to everybody out there tuning in here tonight. Hope everyone is doing good. There's something super nefarious going on with these drones. I'm going to play a clip here from the Palantir co-founder. He warns how warfare is going to change forever. And AI is behind all of it. Basically, I feel that this is what these drones are being ran off of. The one dude on the military base, I mean, he said it all. He said it all. That these things are different. They're built different. They're potentially running off of a different technology in terms of the energy source. They outran them for 400 miles. As the OBS kicks out and cuts back in, I am going to play a clip here from this guy from Palantir, just so you can hear where this is going in terms of warfare, weaponry, and it's very, very scary. When you give AI the okay to go kill people, and you set these drones loose, and all they got to do is find something. And thank you for all the feedback, everybody. This is scary, man. The time we're living in is scary. These things can hunt you down right now, in any given moment. Unless you've got a deep underground place to run to, they can hunt you down at any moment.
This is a big thing. So I think we wasted a ton of money in Afghanistan. I think we had stupid adventures. I mean, I was very for, obviously, our technology helped fight and kill like thousands of terrorists. Like, I was very for eliminating the bad guys. I was very against like putting like trillions of dollars into these areas to try to rebuild a broken civilization, which is not our job to do. We should have been building our civilization. Right. So I'm very pro-America. But part of being pro-America is fighting these wars without sacrificing American lives and of keeping people very scared of us that we don't have to fight, and they do what they're supposed to do. So yes, we have a bunch of companies right now that are kind of replacing the way the primes work. And so, for example, like in the water, you want to have thousands or tens of thousands of smart AI-enabled autonomous weaponized vessels of different sorts that coordinate together, right? That's what you want. And then you want on the land, we sent 31 tanks to Ukraine and 20 of them were destroyed for the same cost or even less cost. You could have sent like 10,000 tiny little vehicles that are smart, that have weapons on them, that fight, that are coordinated. And there's all these new ways you use mass production with advanced manufacturing, you use AI, and you don't put American lives at risk, and for much cheaper you deter the bad guys. And the other one is really cool, just mentioned. So we have the enemy also has, like, you see China where they fly those hundreds of thousands of drones. It's crazy. So we have something called EPRIS, which is now deployed, which is it's like a force field, but it's a burst of microwave radiation in a cone, and we could turn off hundreds of the drones per shot miles away. So there's so big.
That seems seems like sort of the next version of the Iron Dome or something in some sense.
It's like, it's a little bit like Star Trek-ish, but you need these sorts of things to fight back rather than waste like $1 million, $100,000 missiles to shoot down one of these drones. And there's so many of them. What you need is you need electronic warfare. And so there's all sorts of new things there we're doing that are really cool. And taking the best of Silicon Valley, combining it with the best. And by the way, like, who doesn't want a really great shield? This is a great thing for civilization, that it's easier to build shields now. So there's things like this we need to be doing.
Do you hear what this guy just said? Let me sum it up for you. We're making domes, shields, in a different way. Literally, an energy dome. Not like Israel's Iron Dome, which is just shooting missiles to shoot down other missiles. That's not it. This is creating a literal dome out of sending out the energy. He just said it. A force field. He said it. He used the word. I mean, he just said it all. It's like, swallow that. That's where we're at. Okay? So, man, the technology is at a point where it's about to wild out. Like, so bad. People ain't even going to be able to wrap their head around it. That is why Elon said drone wars that will boggle the mind are about to happen. And they are. He knows it. He knows what's planned. He drops these breadcrumbs, man. Doesn't matter. Yeah, he's super evil. But it's worth following him and watching him, because he says things and drops hints and information arrogantly or loosely just because he's who he is, and the other people just don't do. Huge things are coming here, technology-wise. Remember, they have not reset anything yet. Shields is 74%, Captain Kirk. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that nuts? All this information's coming out. All this high technology is rolling out just little bit by bit, softly here and there, and this is how it's done. Just wait till he puts it on display. It's on display. Check this out. Yeah, I know. We're the ones who are going to be hunting with the drones next. I get it. That's what I said. Look at this, though. U.S. military bases and sensitive sites have been targeted by drones all across the country for many years now. And not just in our country. Other bases, like in Germany, in the UK. And it's all over. It's all across the country. This is happening. I really am interested in seeing what happens with this whole black op group that's supposed to be coming forward. It's like, come on, come forward. Come on with it already. Let's see what you got. You got black ops are supposed to be having, these are the guys coming from the bases. They had bodies. entity, had biologicals. What Stephen Greer said straight up, it had all of it, had the craft, re-engineered everything, all this high technology. They're coming forward. Well, let's see it. Let's see it. He's saying that they're using this as a psyop, as a cover, and all that. Like, man, there's something about that dude I don't trust. So I don't know what it is. But, I mean, you could probably point out several obvious things, but it doesn't. Just because I don't like him, also doesn't mean he's not telling the truth. I think that there's truth to it. That's how they operate. You can't come out and make an announcement like they just did and say that, like, disclosure is about to happen and it's going to be the biggest event in world history. And, like, he's going and briefing governments on what's about to happen. Like, let's not forget that. Like, this is all tied in together, and he even acknowledged as much. All right. Let's switch it up here. Keep it pushing. I thought that this one was pretty crazy. Talk about accountability and talk about wasted money and spending and just craziness. Like, you know, Elon and Vivek are supposed to be coming in and cutting all this waste out of the government, right? Well, this story is nuts because it makes you wonder how many others out there are like this. This is a U.S. Congresswoman that was missing for 6 months, and they found her at a dementia care home. How does any U.S. official or congressman go unaccounted for and not be showing up to none of these places and someone not notice for half of a year? I don't know. That's just pretty crazy. I guess anything's possible. But speaking of being hospitalized, Bill Clinton in the hospital for a fever. I'm guessing he is old. I guess the fever could take him down. He ain't been in good health for the longest time. If I'm correct, he's had some surgeries, like maybe some stents or some things put in him or something to keep him going alive. And of course, when you're part of the club, you know, they'll do whatever to try to stay alive. As long as they can, but he's 78 and he's just not in good shape. Doesn't look it. Neither did Bush Sr. before he died. He looked... Yeah. A lot of these guys we grew up seeing, these politicians, man, that no one lives forever. It's they're seeds. They trained. They're leaving behind. We got to deal with. If the corruption's never caught, it's just going to get passed on. Look at this. For people that's never seen this kid, I want to share a clip here of Barron Trump. He's playing soccer here in this one. He towers over the rest. It's like he towers over the rest of them like crazy. It's nuts. He's so huge. He's like a Nephilim. And they say he's got all this skill and all this other stuff. I mean, look at him. Look at him, man. He's like twice the size of the rest of these kids. I swear he's like Nephilim. He is huge. He is huge. If you've never heard him talk, look at him towering over his dad and Dana White and all them right here. Here he is.
Yes, hello, how are you? It's very nice to see you. Very nice. I gave him a shout out last night. The place went crazy. Very well. Hello, how are you? It's very nice Good to see you. You too, buddy. Oh, you never met? No. Can we make him into a player?
I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know if it was from Trump's side or whose side it was. The Nephilim genes have sprung. The dude's huge. I'm telling you what, this is crazy. I pointed out, man. And all these people keep saying President Elon, because Elon's, making all these moves. World's richest man, basically, he bought the political spectrum. They're saying the left is dogging him. And Trump's responding saying, I don't think so. He responds to the claim of him ceding the presidency to Elon right here. Figured I'd play it so you guys can see what he had to say.
Russia, Ukraine, all the different hoaxes. And the new one is President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on? Right? Don't we want that? He's done a great job. And I'll tell you, he landed that rocket a few months ago. It landed, it's coming down so fast, 17,000 miles an hour, he says, and coming down, it looks like it's getting ready. And then all of a sudden, the jets go on, it slows it down, then it's almost stopped it. Then it guides it over left, right, up, high, down. I said, what the hell's going on? Because nobody ever saw this before. And then it has the big gantry, very expensive. It looks like it's going to be smashed to smithereens. And then those jet engines roared from the bottom. It's coming in this.
Anyhow, that's him basically shutting down. Then Elon is not running the show at all. Then they go on to say here why Trump picked J.D. Vance for president. And I'll make it clear, he didn't pick nobody for vice president. This is a selection, and people lose sight of that all the time. J.D. Vance is just like Trump in a lot of ways. He's specially groomed for this opportunity in history by a select group. And if you've not seen where his allegiance goes to, then you need to do a little bit of research. You ain't got to look too far. The Lubavitches control him. And you can see him on video in a whole room of all of them. He's the only one without a black hat on. And they're surrounding their man, which is J.D. Vance. He is their chosen one to take the reins from Donald Trump and to be able to run a presidency for 8 more years under his own leadership, under his own name, and all that. This is the guy chosen to take that handoff, all that energy. That's what they're really trying to do. So this whole 4 years, this whole time, the idea would be for them to paint him as being this super. They're trying to take the Trump energy and put it on him. I don't think it's going to work. Trump is Trump, and you can't. There's nothing you can do. You have to have that star power. You have to be Trump. You have to have that background. And J.D. Vance has none of that. So the Lubavitches. What, you don't know who that is, John? If you don't know who that is, you're missing the huge part of the puzzle and who's controlling all this. And them. And if you want to ignore it, well, we don't ignore it around here. We keep it real. You see, I don't fall for the solution of choice. Never have, never will. This is a left-right paradigm. And when you stumble on to my page, that's how it is. It's the truth. It's the raw. It's the real. Same money cartel, same hand has ran all this. They've controlled everything, even the wars, all the way up to present day. You see, if you do your research and start with the Rothschilds and the control of every bank and every central bank, and how a group of people control the money going into both sides of a war, the curtain drops. And when you keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper, you see that this expands and goes all the way out to current day, where the same money masters control this whole damn thing. And I'm not going to take it too deep, because if you ain't even at that level, you sure as hell ain't going to be able to wrap your head around the fallen and what's really going on here. But there's levels to this. But if you really want to wake up, you got to see what controls everything. The money masters. It's about to get reset. And they told you as much. They showed you as much. And it has not happened yet. Boy, oh boy, rude awakening coming, and it ain't even happened yet. They have till 2030 to do this. So I don't see how you get through the Trump presidency and it doesn't happen. I think we all could feel it's coming. Even he said it. He's getting handed a whopper of an economy that's going to implode, that they've inflated it up, all this stuff. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It seems a lot of people float to the right because, they were steered that way, right? And naturally, that's how it falls. If you wake up, it's just how it is, man. The right's supposed to represent, at this point, any bit of the truth that's out there, because the left clearly represents the establishment and everything against it. You see? So that's how it's painted. But truth be told, when something controls, the whole bird, because there's a wing, there's two wings to every bird. Man, I'm just beyond this crap. It's a puppet show. And I just think it's kind of funny, though, that some of these people on the left, before they get persecuted and hunted down by the right, because there is a big difference. It is different clubs. They have different feelings, different viewpoints. The upper echelon of the political spectrum. But you got all these people that are I don't know, trying to save their ass. It's what it feels like to me. Like they're trying to say they support Trump now, right? Zuckerberg did it. Bezos did it. Thank you, John, for the coffees. Merry Christmas. Much love. Now, Jank is doing it. I watched Jank rumble with Alex Jones, just feet away from me. This big thing went down at the RNC. It was staged. They're fakery. But I thought it was crazy. Watch, this is him coming out to a crowd. A left-leaning dude coming out to a crowd. Listen to what he says, though, about it.
Jank, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for that warm welcome. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
He said, thank you for that warm welcome. He goes on to say, and I'm not going to torture you with another video of him speaking here. He is completely pandering to this side, and he's using that right there, saying, you guys are way more welcoming the right. But he's got some valid points in what he's saying, though. He's seeing what Tulsi Gabbard seen a long time ago, that she wasn't getting any love on the left, playing on that side, and she got pissed and went back, and she's like, I want to be popular and I want to be liked. You know, I'm gonna walk into a place and it'd be packed full of the American people that like support me and that like that. Not go into places that have like dismal crowds and like low energy. And he says it himself that the right is more welcoming, better energy, and all that. I mean, he just goes on and on and on, like fluffing it up. But um, I just think it's crazy that this many people that talk so much crap before about Trump talk. Man, I've watched this guy talk so much. I've watched him like just lose it on camera, along with so many others about Trump. Like just, I mean, just go nuts. And here he is saying all this. It's like, wow. Here's another one that you might not expect that they call him the Democrat truth teller, and that if there was one that was going to defect to the other side, it would be John Fetterman. And I don't know, the guy, he was really weird. At first, it was almost like he couldn't even talk in a lot of the interviews. Now he seems to like, I don't know if he's been reprogrammed, but because he had these health issues, and then there was all this talk of like they replaced him, like the original Fetterman's gone, like they replaced him with this other guy, and all these conspiracies. They'll just kind of laugh at like this guy's not that important, like, but I don't know. He's got some good takes here recently, and it reminds me though of the same thing of just going to the right, away from the left, because he's supposed to be a left-leaning Democrat.
And after you survived an assassination, you literally were shot in your head, and had the presence of mind to respond. Fight, fight, fight. I mean, that's a political talent. It's undeniable. And also, I never believed that it was about fascism. And for me, that made it difficult for
Kamala Harris said that he was a fascist.
Yeah, well, it's like that's her prerogative. I mean, but it's not a word that I would use, because you put a lot of Democrats, especially in my state, that I know, and I happen to love people that are going to vote for Trump, and they are not fascists. And also fascism, that's not a word that regular people, use. That, I think people are going to decide who is the candidate that's going to protect and project, my version of the American way of life. And that's what happened. And
that's what happened. Yeah. Well, that's crazy, because back before, he couldn't even talk like that. Like, you couldn't even articulate stuff. I was like, well, how is this dude even, like, where'd he come from? Like, why'd they pick him? Like, it baffled me, just like with AOC. Like, where'd they find her? Like what the, I come to find her, like, working at a bar or something. Like, it's just like these, I don't know, man. Anyhow, these people are turning. They're attacking this guy. If you guys haven't seen it, Matt Getz. And he's trying to drop evidence here refuting all these claims that he was with a minor and doing drugs and was paying for sex with at least 20 different people or something. I don't know. Unless they've got him like Epstein blackmailed, which is possible. You want to know, when I go digging and I go looking, I run into one event with Gates. I always call him Gates. One event that could have doomed him, and it changed everything. He took it upon himself to call out Nancy Pelosi on her insider trading. He sure did. In the open. And made it a thing. When I look back on it, because I've never cared for him. See him as another politician goon. But when I look back on it, he did it. He did it. He shot a shot across the bow at her, specifically on the insider trading in the open. He's been persecuted ever since. He was ran out of he was going to be the speaker or one of the big positions. I forget exactly what it was. He was going to be it, and then all of a sudden, nope. And then he completely left, and he was supposed to go somewhere else, and he didn't. Then he showed up on I don't know what the name of the site is, doing videos for like $500 for people. It was really weird. And then they had hinted at possible running for governor in Florida because DeSantis was going to fill this key position in the Trump administration. And now all this attacks. Like, when I found that stuff on the Pelosi thing, I was like, wow, like, after the murder now of the one dude in the insider trading, it's real. And him being persecuted out in the open, like, I don't know. He should probably watch his 6 at that rate. And here's the dude wearing a mask that they call Joe Biden. That's not the Joe Biden of old. I see these video clips of the real Biden, and look at the new goon. And it's just pathetic. Well, this goon has announced that he is commuting the sentences of 37 out of 40 different prisoners that were currently sitting on the federal government's death row list. And the families of some of these people are extremely pissed off about this because murderers, all that stuff that they thought would never see the light of day are going to be like able to go stalking potentially and come hunting them or whatever. You know, like the worst nightmare. It's how they see it, you know? And the people, he says 3 men who, let's see, Monday announced that he was commuting those currently sitting on federal government death row, which will reclassify their sentences to life without the possibility of parole. So it's basically they're dodging the death sentence. So these people are not getting out, so to speak, in this. Although it goes on down here to say that anything can happen. People are ticked off that thought that their family member was killed, murdered. Their justice was gonna be this person losing their life, and now that's not gonna happen. So they're gonna think, in a way they've been robbed. But either way, it should be life without the possibility of parole in this instance. So they're gonna be in there forever. They should never be able to get out. Because that would be a nightmare. All right. Let's switch it up here. Trump is just pretty brazen, man. He's really brazen. You guys know it. It's Trump, man. You ever seen him out there at like 80-year-old shaking people's hands? He's like trying to rip their arm out of socket. You ever seen what he does? It's crazy. He's like back and forth, back and forth. I mean, like, it's nuts. Anyhow, he just comes in boss hogging it, and it's just like, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and he's got some power, but he also talks some crap. Like I said, we've proven it. You know, he doesn't have the worst track record, but he's definitely not come through on some big things. But he comes through here and he threatens to take back the Panama Canal, which is crazy. He says that the golden age is upon us. It's begun. Mind you, he's not even sworn in yet. And, I mean, everyone's just already calling him President Trump. Like, he's already, it's already underway. Which in ways, it kind of already is. he's doing all these things and he's putting things into motion. And he's threatening things like this, taking back the Panama Canal, bold things. Then, after talking about that, he turns around and revives talk of buying Greenland and taking it for its national resources, for national security purposes, for its all of its vital resources, and it's got a ton. But I heard this and I'm like, is this dude kidding at first? And shout outs to Goat that said something about that. And Lord McCormick from the UK with the coffees. Hey man, much love. Appreciate it. Much love. God bless. But when it comes to this, here, let me scroll down and show you this image. Look at that there. Greenland, and look, this is the image I want to show you. It's littered with minerals. And my thinking and my thought was, when this image was posted, was like, this is for sure. So I went over to Truth Social, which is where he posted it, the comment on it. And sure enough, there it was. So I took a screenshot and I posted it over on X. And because people couldn't find it on X, I guess they were in disbelief that he even said it. And I'm like, no, he said it. Like, it's what it is. He made the comment that we're going to take Greenland. And he put this dude in control of it, and he named him and said he'll do a good job and this and that. And I'm like, what? He is serious. He said this. So you look, and you can see all the different resources listed. They're really small, but you've got things in there like copper, gold, diamonds, you name it, all the way around the place. Plus, it's a huge mystery. Well, how are you going to do this? My first thought was like, are you brazenly just going to go in and like take it, military force? Like what? You're going to offer to buy it. So the talk comes up of the Greenland Purchase. Okay? And he's serious. They are serious about this. They are serious about this. Okay? But Greenland's got a prime minister. And he's like pissed off and he's like pushing back like, no. He goes, it's not happening. He goes, the island, it's not for sale. It will never be for sale. Pushing back at Trump. So, got a showdown right there. You know what it tells me, though? In a time of war or craziness, the U.S. is just going to jump out and take it. It's right there. For what he already just said. For national security purposes. You can't allow no one else to occupy it. You can't do it. And Trump apparently fired back and says, you guys, you just wait. Like, he can talk all this crap, like I said before, but he can't do nothing until January 20th. But he's got a point. Okay, why? Because China has weaponized rare earth metals and the minerals. They're controlling it. And, just from a survival standpoint here, as a country, in all that, we got to start doing something. We got to start, like, mining. We've got to start producing. We've got to start processing. We can do it right here. We can. What we got to do is do it. Build the processing plants and process it there. China controls a majority of the processing of the minerals. They've got a ton of minerals, and they just found the biggest supply of gold on the planet, the biggest deposit. So they've got a lot of things going for them there. But in a time of war that goes against us big time, it does not bode well for us. And they've been buying gold left and right more than anyone on the planet, which is crazy. Telling you, man, trying to give it to the Anunnaki. People laughing at it, but they worship the fallen. Here's one for you. A U.S. fighter jet shot down over the Red Sea. They call it a friendly fire incident, but there's question marks all over it. I don't know. Luckily, the 2 pilots ejected and got out. But there's a lot of question marks around that. People are saying, like, what? What's really going on? Now, we've got some reported casualties, and why they're putting this under the spotlight so much is ominous to me. It's like, what, are you going to piss him off over there and he's going to hit us with an EMP? I told you this earlier. North Korea suffers casualties, 1,100 casualties on the front lines of Ukraine. So they're killing all kinds of people there, mauling them. And just chewed up and spit out a stack here. And it's like, okay, this is World War. When you've got multiple countries sending troops into front lines, like, this is World War, man. America acts like it's untouchable, and I feel like it's going to get touched. And remember what they said about telecoms. The Chinese are already inside all of our networks, and they can't get them out. They even got into the DOJ's wiretap stuff. Like, dude, it's over. Like, any moment. They're in here, all this property next to our bases. They've got like 1 million man army or more that slipped in. Like, dude, this is a setup. It's about to pop off right here. It's about to go live. Trump's going to make it go live. National emergency, day 1. He's going to be using the military on the border for what they're calling soft invasions. Can you believe this? This is the game plan. Apaches and everything else are going to be doing encroachments into Mexico with military hardware, attacking the cartels. That's what's about to happen. This is about to get crazy, blow up. War. It's the first time in your life, like, our country is in direct contact war on our border, in our country. Military, Apaches shooting, tanks, guns blazing. The whole 9, dude. They brought it to us. All the times people want to turn a cheek because it was Iraq, or it was Libya, or it was Afghanistan, or wherever. They brought it to you finally. It's here. And whether people want it or not, like it or not, it's about to pop off. I tell you, it's like they're just waiting on their bat signal. A date. I don't know. Some planet to go into retrograde. I don't know what it is. Just like a certain little window here. They're waiting for this to pop off. And really, Trump and them are going to force it. They're going to put everything into motion. These strike teams are going to be going out. So they're going to start pushing the envelope. And there's going to be pushback right there. The friction. It's going to start right there. Right there. It's crazy. It's a double-edged sword because on one hand, they do need to round up all these. This is a setup. This is a setup. They needed the perfect excuse to be able to go into everywhere, to every single business, every single place, everywhere, under the guise of looking for criminals. Meaning coming to you and asking you for your ID and the whole 9, interrogating everybody. It's about to happen everywhere. It's just they got to find the rapists and the murderers. And of course, yeah, they do. But how convenient, right? How this whole thing's set up. I'm not stupid. I've been watching and waiting for them to try something like this for years. Jade Helm. And there's always an element tied in. It's nefarious, obviously. That's gauged toward the people in a bad way. It's all about control. All right. Well, if you don't know, there's threats of using gas on the battlefield, which is crazy. Let's hope not, because that's like, when you're talking banned chemicals and all that, like, it's not good. Anything can happen anywhere then. And Ukraine is pounding Russia inside of Russia, 600 miles from the front lines. Inside of Russia, they're smacking drones, kamikaze, into buildings, like 9/11. That's the visual effect when they're flying and they're hitting right here. So they're striking hard. They're not backing down right now on this. Really trying to stir the hornet's nest and piss off Putin and them and get us struck, get us EMP'd or something stupid. It's setting the stage for that to be the strike, and it's going to be for the history books. How else do you bring down America? Seriously. How do you do it? Well, you would have to destroy the economy. A lot of people would have to die. And at face value, you would have to have armies and all this stuff. But you wouldn't with an EMP. That's the scary part. And it doesn't have to just be an EMP. They can just attack the grid. They can down the grid. They take out all the power. Telephone poles don't work, or towers don't work. None of it. Everything's down. Same situation. Except planes are not falling out of the sky, and regular cars should still work. But if the internet's down, same way. Everything else. Pump's not working. Dude, you better have some gas on hand, or you're not getting far. I can't stress enough that that's the thing that you need to really be having, is a way to get to your bug out spot. And look at this. Look at this. This is garbage. They said they were ending the war in Ukraine. And Trump said, no more money. We're sending billions. It's absurd. But send no more money. All this, right? Trump reportedly plans to continue aid to Ukraine, but will raise NATO spending to 5%. Oh, what? So here we go. He's already flip-flopping on this, especially because they said no money, cutting the whole thing off, stopping it. Because if you stop the funding into it, you stop it. You kill the war. You stop it effectively. He plans to continue aid. I mean, this is like a Hillary for prison move and then not putting her in prison type deal. It's up there with that. Like, this is huge. We all know. It's all about all the money they're sending there. That means that the whole money laundering thing is going to continue. Do you understand? It's going to continue right on into his territory on his watch. Nothing new under the sun, huh? I mean, you've seen it. You see it. It's... sometimes it gets so sick of the political stuff. It never goes away anymore. There was a time, I don't know, maybe I was a kid, Didn't worry about politics. World was much easier and simpler back then. Only story I remember in politics from a kid about like Bill Clinton that was president was the Monica Lewinsky stuff and all that, which stuck, but it was never nothing else. As a kid, I don't know. The time that I grew up in, there wasn't a whole lot of. I was a kid though. It was till 9/11. 9/11. It opened my eyes more than anything. Started the research. 9/11 in plain sight, all the documentaries and everything else. It all began, really. I feel like we're about to hit another 9/11 type of event. That would be what brings the country down. It seems China is going to get blamed big time for this. Like that, neither OBS kicking out and in. All right, let me keep it pushing here. Hypersonic missiles have been used by the Houthis. And we were talking about Iron Dome earlier and this and that. Check it out. Iron Dome, useless. Useless against these hypersonics. Went right on through, smacked right into its target. It went right on in and hit. This is a bit of a game changer because if they can't stop these, I said it before, it's the same thing as Russia's. Russia's was the baddest we've seen thus far. It was like lasers, like just zipping down, like lava, raindrops coming down, like it was just, it was almost like a video game. It was just nuts looking. It's scary, in space weaponry, really scary. Yeah, tonight, it looks like here, coming up on top of the hour, just go ahead and tell everybody. I'll probably run it here over the next 15 minutes at least. I'm getting ready to crack into my big story here at the CIA docs. But I got to touch on a couple of these things as well here real quick. Get these out of the way real quick. This all relates pretty much to China and Pakistan. Guess what? Everybody's been taken out pretty much. Got Iran, the last bad boogeyman, but they look over and they're like Pakistan. They're developing long-range nukes. So, dude, out of nowhere, Pakistan could just up and just get hit real quick. I don't know. Pakistan is over there buddies with Russia and China and all them, so they're not on our side. They're with BRICS. And the United States is like talking, they're eyeballing them. This Trump administration, militarily, globally, and everything else is going to be different, I feel. Way different than the first go-around. They're saying to check your Wi-Fi router brand if it's Chinese. Hello? Reality check. I'm going to tell you that if you've got anything Chinese, that you better start looking for some kind of American replacement, but we're about to find out the hard way. This is set up. Man, you know how many little things in any given place is made in China? Go there at your house, flipping objects over, taking electronics apart. You already know it. It's been this way for a long time. Now, all of a sudden, the enemy has technology embedded all throughout every one of our homes. And they're telling you check your Wi-Fi router. Like, dude, you kidding me? You better start thinking of everything. Anything and everything if that's the case. And I mean anything and everything. You done seen the Mossad done showed you. They can target the battery, the lithium battery packs inside of any device and make them explode. China could have did that as well. And let me also remind you that we found out that the ports, our main ports in America, the cranes that operate them, that take the shipping containers on and off every day, it like makes this country run, everything going in and out. Those cranes are only made in one place, and it's in China. And we come to find out that there was some kind of hidden modem inside that they can communicate with them from space. And when they were called out on it, they were like, "Oh yeah, that was just in case like you guys need updates or anything like that. We can do it remotely." And they're like, America's like, "Hold on, that's garbage. That's not in the contract." Thank you, Gooch. They said that's not in the contract. I'm just saying, a heads up here. Anything Chinese you might want to think about at this point. Look here, another one. Aide to a California politician arrested, accused of conspiring with the Chinese spy to infiltrate U.S. politics. All right, they're all over the place. Look at this one, huge one. 7 Chinese nationals arrested on Guam. Why? Why? This is crazy. If you ain't seeing that there's something going on, this here, the story alone is huge. But most people just won't even see it. But 7 Chinese nationals creep up on Guam in a boat, hop off, start snooping around, and make their way up near the military installation right at the time of the missile launch. And this was a test of a U.S. missile to intercept something out in the ocean. If they found something was launched in the ocean toward Guam, they were trying to test and drill. These Chinese spies were there trying to watch it all. Dude, they're in everywhere like cockroaches. And they're watching everything. Do you understand? They're all over the place, man. It's like, it's bad. It's bad. How do you think Homan's going to handle them? I don't know. It's still on the table. Will they even go to all these properties right next to our bases where the Chinese are hiding? They're illegals. They're on the list. I mean, a lot of questions, man. If I ever have a chance to get an earshot with that dude and I can get a question in, it's going to be that straight up. What about the Chinese? Because if they just want to keep turning a blind eye to it, it's a setup. It's a setup. It's a setup. All right. Here we go. Hit you with this final one for the night. A rather interesting story here, if you will. It reminds me of my aunt. And rest in peace, Aunt Lil. I've never been told, and I probably never get the answers fully, but all I ever knew growing up was that my aunt worked for the government at certain times doing certain things. And I was told on one occasion specifically to help them solve crimes and things like that. And I could never wrap my head around it. But this is when I was really a kid, really small. But as I get bigger now and I look back, I see that she had some kind of I don't know what you want to call it, telepathic or a seer of something. She could help them solve crimes and certain things, and I always thought that was crazy. Um, she passed away, cancer, breast cancer, a long time ago now. But I always thought about that because the way that I operate, me, things happen with me and to me, that I could never explain. I think about it and I'm like, well, there's something there. It bled through. It came through with her. Um, and they were utilizing it. um, well, this story reminds me of that because this talks about remote viewing. And remote viewing, if you don't know, is very real. It's rather fascinating. And these are things that are real. It's what most people can't do or will never take the time to do to ever try to master. So it's not real to them. Or it's just too much to believe. It's like fantasy when it's very real. It's very real. It's been scientifically documented and proven. Many, many different experiments and projects. And most of you should already know you've heard of this before, of remote viewing and things like that. It's very real. Okay, so this one instance talks about how, NASA's sitting there trying to tell us they're looking for, signs of life and this and that. Well, the CIA apparently has known that there was at least ancient life on Mars because it's filed. And this is the story. And it's short, but to the point and pretty potent, and it's worth knowing. So, it says, the report, Mars Exploration, May 22nd, 1984. The details are written out by the agency here on how they used astral projection. And that is, for those that don't know, the idea that a person can project their spirit or their consciousness through the astral plane to a specific point in time or place or plane, location. Okay, and if you can zero in on that, a certain area, then you can go there. Well, how this is done inside of laboratory testing is you have a conductor, someone that is conducting the test, and they're the speaker, okay? And they will be speaking to the subject, okay? So this study was part of Project Stargate, which should scream at you right there what they were doing. This was a secret U.S. Army unit that was established back in 1977, and it focused on anomalous phenomena. Solely, the heart of it was remote viewing, telepathy, psychonesis, things like that. The people that they had in their experiments were usually induced into this altered state of consciousness by sounds. They would use sounds like binaural beats and hemisync audio. And it would promote, and it still does, it promotes psychic ability, helps to draw it out and put you in being in the moment, in the just fully synced in to where you need to be for this to work, with nothing to distract. Take no thought for your life. Who told you to do that? Jesus, Yeshua. So this is what happens. The experiment basically starts off with them walking in and they have an envelope. And they write on it the location of where they want this person to go. Okay, and as this one says, the U.S. Army unit here took its participants and put them into the state, and they were transported to many different places. In this instance, the individual that was watching seen an oblique pyramid in a very large road and a monument. And then it shifted the vision to a very large population of people. And it goes on to more detail here. Let me scroll down here. They shut this down in 1995, and just crazy how Linda Moulton Howe got that letter in 1996 saying that disclosure would happen in 2025. In 2025. You can't make this up. All these years, they've been waiting for a target window for this to happen. It's about to happen, I feel. So leading up to this whole thing, they say, we get to the, it says the document has very few details, but it begins like this. It says, method of site acquisition on this, on the story for this whole process, what they went through here. It says sealed envelope coupled with geographic coordinates. The envelope was provided to the subject before the interview, but was not opened until afterwards. Okay, there's a process to this. This is critical. Okay, on how they do this, how you remote view. They get them into the state of mind. They set them down, and then the speaker starts to tell the subject to focus in on this area. And says that inside this envelope, they tell them what's in it. There's a 3x5 card with the following information. It says, the planet Mars. It says time of interest, approximately 1 million BC. The administrator of the experiment verbally relays all this to the person and gets them to start to astral project to this location. They started this at 10:09 a.m. Eastern. It was documented May 22nd, 1984. Okay? So the subject was then asked to focus their attention on the 40.89 degree north by 9.55 degree west area. And boy, oh boy, I wish I could zoom in what's there right now. Maybe I can pull up Google Mars and go there. Free energy, thank you. We're going to find something out after the show. I'm diving into this. Something's screaming at me now. Why were they wanting to go there? So the person remote viewing says it sort of looks like a kind of an oblique view of a pyramid form, the subject said. So they saw a pyramid, one of the first things in this area, and said that it was ochre colored. That is a hue that ranges between yellow and deep orange and brown. Okay? Then, the subject then observed shadows of very tall, thin people wearing strange clothing. The administrator prompted the subject to remain in that time period, but to move to a different location in the space. So the landscape featured a very long road with what appeared to be the Washington Monument at the end, which is funny that they say that. But what they are meaning here is an obelisk that goes back to ancient Egypt. So he is literally witnessing a pyramid with like a long road going down it, or opening that looks like a road, and at the end of it, a monument of an obelisk. And then he was told to he was told to move to a different location, and he saw people again. They say that the test subject, then moved to a place where there was a violent storm ripping through Mars, and that the people were using the giant pyramids for shelter. Different chambers. They were almost stripped of any kind of furnishing. It was like they were in there sleeping or like trying to hide from something outside, is what the remote viewer says. Storms were savages. Something was wrong with Mars's atmosphere, is what they're saying. And he says, and this is the words of the person, the subject that is remote viewing. It says, very tall again, very large people, but they're thin. They look that way because of their height. They dress like in, oh hell, it's like a real light silk, but it's not flowing. It's like cut to fit. He then told the administrator that these were ancient people that were dying. He says, in the past, in their time, and in their age, they're trying to find a way to survive. They're looking for a place to go to, a place to survive, and they just can't. So this person's witnessing these ancient people that are on Mars, all the stuff that's there, that are taller like giants, thinner, and their atmosphere is like wasted. It's like wasting away. And they're trying to find a place to go to live, and they can't. And it says that the subject, remote viewing, appeared concerned for the ancient people, saying that they were looking for a way out or waiting for something to return. He was getting overwhelmed by all this. So this whole story is pretty crazy. So this is what he's remote viewing. He's remote viewing ancient life that was there 100 million years ago, approximately, on Mars. And this is the CIA conducting this with the remote viewers. And he says that the atmosphere there is failing rapidly, and that the group went somewhere a long way to find another place to live. He says the subject claimed to have spoken with one of these people who told them that a group had left in what looked like the inside of a large boat. The administrator told the subject to go along in the journey and report what he saw. He saw a lot of vegetation. There was other places that didn't have it, but it was very crazy. It had volcanoes, gas pockets, strange plants, and it was very volatile. The administrator then told the subject it was time to come back, and started to instruct him, now move back to the room, now move back to the sound of my voice, back further, now to the sound of my voice at the 22nd of May, 1984, planet Earth, and brings the person back. This is crazy. It's pretty crazy documented event that took place that's on file. And these are the types of things you can uncover through FOIAs, and if you go digging and you get lucky, things like this that are history that actually happened. And I just thought it was interesting because Mars is interesting. And that remote view was good. That was a good one. I believe it. I believe that there was ancient life there, for sure. If you look at Mars, Mars looks like it was, well, let's just go to Thoth. Let's go to the Emerald Tablets, okay? In there, Thoth speaks about Atlantis, and he speaks about Mars. And there was a great war in heaven. And other people have speculated that that's why Mars has a scar on it. It's literally been, it looks like it's been zapped, like by specifically in like an electrocution and like an electro type of zap. If you try to recreate it, people's not seen it in videos. It's like it's been hit with like some kind of zap. And you could see the scar. It's all the way around the planet. And it was enough to wipe the atmosphere off, to blow it off. Imagine how fragile a planet is, or an ecosystem, to have that thin layer of life. All the life on our planet, on Earth, exists between the ground and when you look up at the bottom of them clouds, the bottom of that cloud deck, pretty much. That's a thin layer of film, a thin layer around the whole planet where life exists. Majority. So, I don't know. I've spent hours and hours and hours, and I've even got videos removed by YouTube, which is odd. Why? When I found stuff in Google Mars and inside stuff like that, crazy stuff in their imagery, literally caves with pyramids, little things stacked in them, areas that look like statues had been blown apart. It looked like a war took place, and there was just fragments of everything, bits and pieces of everything, everywhere. That's what it looks like, full scale. It matches. And Thoth said there was major war there, and that they actually, once that were there, came here and offset this planet. And it was a short time after that, Atlantis sank. This planet was set to have been set up on the natural ley lines, and that's one of the most amazing things to me. We need to take it back there. If this planet was to truly be reset, it needs to go back to its natural ways, God-given ways, where you can tap into the inertia of the planet throughout the natural energy grid. You know? And that is where a lot of these pyramids sit. They sit in key ley line intersections across the planet. They're power plants in many ways, and markers of also entrances into inner Earth in a lot of these locations. It's all pretty interesting to me, but I feel we're on the doorstep of another big event. But I don't know. When I envision the Most High returning with a sword and laying this place to waste, I don't fear it. I do not fear a Most High showing up and to start lighting the place up. Because I realize how much evil's here. This place is wicked. Very. It's full of it. So something was coming in here attacking it. It's attacking it large scale. It's how I see it. The wickedness is here. It's trapped here. It's locked here. We know this, man. And when you keep that in front of you, don't lose sight of it. It always brings me back to like the good guys are coming in, they're creeping in, and that's who they're shooting at. That's who they're fighting with. That's who's shooting down their nukes. That's who's shooting down this and that. You gotta believe, man. There's good guys out there. Just reminding you. You gotta have faith. As evil as it is. But look, somebody comes lighting this whole place up, and I see, DC getting hit, and all these other places getting mopped up. Like, I don't know. I kind of feel like this planet will probably get hit large scale with something catastrophic. That can cause it to burn up. Impact, maybe, I don't know. Fire is what's coming. How do you rid this planet of all the terrors that are on it? Riddle me that. How? when you come down to this rock and you've got good like humans up here, but then you've got these other life forms in the oceans, underground, deep. How do you get them? And mind you, with all the ones that always lived in the oceans were never even really affected when this place was flooded out. I also want to remind you of Nostradamus's prophecy for 2025 that a king, a mysterious figure, will arise from the sea, and he will bring with it the aquatic empire. Ha! I'm telling you, this is all, it's about to get really interesting. Well, I would say you got a few things to talk about with people over the holidays here. A lot going on. I thought that was a really interesting one, though, with the remote view. That brings me to a close on this one. And I want to thank everyone that joins me. And wish everybody out there happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year coming up if I don't see you. Wednesday is Christmas, right? Yeah. I should be stuck sitting right here. So I'll probably be going live. I'll be live on Christmas. Christmas night, more than likely. So, but Merry Christmas. Be back on Christmas night. And just take care. Be safe out there, guys. Traveling. Get in what time you can. That's one thing I think that bothered me the most. Just hit me hard today when I realized that we weren't going to be able to see everybody. I don't know, my aunts are like getting old and all this, and I don't know. The older you get, the more you know that you're not promised many more Christmases with all your family members. People pass away and things happen, and it's just the way this world is, and it's like you got to cherish every one. And it's like if I missed this one, I hope everybody is okay for a whole another year. And who knows what can happen before I could see him again. So it's frustrating, but Hunter, man, thank you so much for the coffees, man. Oh, man. Yeah. Thank you for the comment. Yeah, much love. Thank you so much, everybody out there. Everyone that shares the stream, supports the channel, keeps me in their prayers. I appreciate it to the fullest. If you need me, get at me, dabu7@yahoo.com. And Merry Christmas. I love you guys. Stay safe, man. Thank you, Tooge, Brother Tooge, Pixie, Real J, Joe, Susie Q. Much love, guys. Crown Jewels. Legendary Eon. Thank you for all the support. You're truly legendary, man. Coming through all the time. Appreciate it more than you know. Thank all of you. Much love. Merry Christmas, Pure Bloods. Be safe. Enjoy time with your family and friends. Thank you, Ava. Thank you, Gretchen. Terry. Dick's Production. Pray for peace. Yellow Dog. Seymour Cannabis. Thank you, bro. Much love.